Good morning. I'm here to confirm that the congressman late last night was taken to the hospital, shortness of breath, chest pains, lightheaded, and dizziness. Congressman Conyers was walking around in his home and felt lightheaded, and they rushed him to the hospital. I don't have any further updates as to his condition health-wise, but I will give them to you as they come to me. I also would like to address Nancy Pelosi's statement, which I'm sure all of you all are aware of at this juncture, calling on the congressman to resign. First of all, it is not up to Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi did not elect the congressman, and she sure as hell won't be the one to tell the congressman to leave. That decision will be completely up to the congressman. He's not thought about that. He's thinking about his health. He's thinking about getting well. That is the main focus of the family. They would ask for their privacy at this time while he is being treated. He is still in the hospital as we speak. There are, to my count, 5 of these allegations against Al Franken. There are 3 or 4 against the congressman. At the end of the day, I would suspect that Nancy Pelosi is going to have to explain what is the discernible difference between Al Franken and John Conyers. That is a question that she is going to have to answer. And again, he is not going to be pressured by Nancy Pelosi or anyone else to step down. The decision will be made by Congressman Conyers as to what his next course is. That will not be today. That will not be tomorrow. The congressman, again, is concerned about his health, just as his family is concerned with his health. And we would ask you all to respect his privacy. Rob.
Arnold, can you talk a little bit about what you believe to be or not to be the veracity of the claims, particularly of Marion Brown and her appearance this morning on national television?
Yeah, I've already spoken about and addressed the veracity of Ms. Sloan. With regard to this latest allegation, well, it's not the latest allegation. She came out on national television, and what she told America was that she loved working for the congressman. She worked for the congressman and supposedly endured the sexual harassment for 11 years. And then she accepted $20-some thousand in a settlement. So essentially, you have an individual that's accepting $1,500, $2,000 a year for $11,000 worth of harassment that was so bad, that was so pervasive, that it caused her mental problems and mental issues, and she stayed on for 11 years. 11 years, and then when you do the math, it breaks down to less than $2,000 a year. It's fundamentally incongruous with anybody who has suffered as much as she has suffered, and to accept a settlement of that amount. That bespeaks Rod alone to her credibility. She had an opportunity 15 years ago to come out, and she didn't. But she is jumping on the bandwagon now. Sexual harassment, again, is wrong in any form or fashion. Let me be clear. That is the congressman's view, and any sexual harassment should be ferreted out and eliminated with all due deliberate speed. By the same token, individuals such as the congressman have a right to due process and have a right to defend themselves. And when you accept $20-some thousand for the sheer hell you claim you've been through, that is a testament to whether or not her veracity is where it should be with these allegations. One more thing, Rob. People are saying, making comparisons to Congress, to corporate America. What do I mean when I say that? People are saying, Rob, that Matt Lauer was fired immediately. Other individuals have been fired immediately. Why wasn't the congressman forced to resign immediately? You're dealing with two different entities. In corporate America, there is no due process. There are no constitutional claims unless it is under Title VII or some other statute that gives you the right to sue based on an invidious characterization like race, sex, age, national origin, marital status. John Conyers' situation is completely different. John Conyers works for Congress, a judicial, a legal, a legislative branch of government. There, it is different. They must go through due process because any actions are done under what we call the color of law. It is apples and oranges. So I need to clear that narrative up for America. Congress works differently. You just cannot fire somebody without going through the proper channels. Corporate America and Matt Lauer's situation are apples and oranges.
Is the congressman's health related to all of these allegations?
Charlie, I would be surprised if they were not. And you and I have been speaking about this over the several days. When I came here yesterday afternoon, it may have been about this time, and some of you look familiar, maybe you were here. The congressman was dismayed over a couple things. One of the things he was dismayed over is how they cut Deanna Scallon's statement when she was talking to the media. And they flashed immediately right to Matt Lauer's situation, and they cut her off. They cut her off. The congresswoman was dismayed about that because she needs to tell her story, albeit false. She lied to the FBI, and now she's calling the FBI a liar. She says that they were going down the freeway, driving erratically, and the congressman was groping her, but then she came to live in this house. She came to live in this house as a nanny and take care of one of his young sons. But at the time she was taking care of him, supposedly, she says she was taking care of him, he was in boarding school, Charlie. Now, unless you're Superwoman and can put a cape on and fly from here to Oklahoma, that would be pretty difficult, wouldn't it, Charlie? That's exactly right. So what I'm saying is this. Again, any allegation of sexual conduct, sexual misbehavior, if it occurs and if it goes on, has to be stopped. But there has to be an investigation. An accused has the right, ladies and gentlemen, to say, I did not do this. I did not do this. And it's unfair when he does that he's accused of victim bashing, he's accused of not respecting women's rights, and anybody out here that knows Congressman Conyers and knows his work knows that that's not true. Yes, ma'am. Hold on, Charlie. Don't be greedy here.
Speaker Ryan and Representative Clyburn have also called for the congressman to resign. Do you have any comments about their calls as well?
They're not going to determine whether Congressman Conyers resigns. Congressman John Conyers will determine that. The decision will be made. He will determine that when and if he makes that decision. Right now, again, his health is first and foremost. Yes, sir.
Say whether you will want Marion Brown to return the money or go after her settlement now that she's essentially gone and talked after the non-disclosure agreement?
I can't tell Marion Brown what to do, and I can't even suggest that to Marion Brown. Marion Brown is going to do what Marion Brown wants to do. We have no control over that. All that we can control is how we react to it and how this process, if it goes forward in terms of investigation, how we cooperate with that. And the congressman has said he is willing to cooperate to the fullest extent. Marion Brown is going to do what Marion Brown does, which is if it comes to it, when you listen to her about the sexual harassment that she's endured for all this time, why did you take the money? Why did you take the money? It equates to maybe $1,000, $1,500 a year for all the suffering, everything that you endured. So she's going to have to answer those questions.
Have you thought about suing Marion Brown for defamation of some kind?
At this juncture, Charlie, and somebody asked that question the other day, I'm concerned about the congressman's health, okay? Suing her for defamation is not anything at this juncture that would accomplish anything, except give her a further forum to explain why it is she took the money and stayed on with the congressman for 11 years, okay? So I don't have any plans of doing that. I wouldn't even remotely suggest that to the congressman. At the end of the day, the congressman will rise and fall on his own merits. He doesn't need to go chasing Marion Brown or anyone else out here trying to prove that he didn't sexually harass anybody. He doesn't operate like that. Next question.
Is the congressman able to serve the people who elected him?
Can you speak up, Kim, please?
Is the congressman able to serve the people who elected him with all of this going on, all of this news?
Right now, the congressman's health is the big issue here. And I'm waiting to get another update on his health. That's the big issue with me as to whether or not the congressman will continue to serve. I don't know. At this particular juncture, I haven't gotten a recent update. I will be tweeting them as I get them, but I don't know what his health situation is other than the dizziness, the shortness of breath, and the lightheadedness.
Where is he hospitalized? In
Not
case
gonna
people
tell
want to send their thoughts.
Same place Jimmy Hoffa's buried. I'm not telling you that. What, so you can go there? You want to take your camera there and film me? I can't hear you. All right. Yes, sir, Rod.
Is there a mechanism to claw back the money that Marion Brown has received? In other words, the congressman wouldn't do that, but can what is the congressional office where this was done through claw back that money?
At this particular juncture, I have not had any contact with them to find out, Rod, definitely what the procedures, would be for that. So I can't really make a comment on that. Next question. We're all good? Thank you all so much. And again, I would ask you to respect the congressman's privacy at this particular time, and let us pray for the congressman and that he pulls through and is able to get through this thing. Thank you all so much.